especially at this time of year, is if anything is happening in the tropics. And we do have a bit of activity in the Atlantic. I don't think it's going to impact us in East Texas. As a matter of fact, I am very certain it won't. But we've got two storms very close to each other. And you can see in the tropics, we do have Humberto, which is a little further out in the Atlantic. And then we also have this area of disturbed weather. This is Invest 94L, what the National Hurricane Center will typically do is if a storm is not yet showing tropical characteristics, then they will investigate it. In this case, it is 94L, just based on how many storms they've investigated during this hurricane season. But let's talk about Tropical Storm Humberto. It is a fairly intense tropical storm, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is as of the 4 o'clock Central Time advisory, and the projected path of this storm is going to take it first to the west, and then it's going to begin to curve off to the north and to the northeast. But look at that. Major hurricane, and it could move between Bermuda and the outer banks of North Carolina and South Carolina, so we're keeping an eye on that one. But what's even more interesting is it could very well interact with the Bahamas storm, which is probably going to form within the next 48 hours. If it doesn't form then, it probably forms within the next 3 or 4 days. So a lot going on in the tropics, and their interaction with one another that could significantly impact a forecast across the eastern seaboard. So our friends along the eastern seaboard, if you know anybody out there, make sure that they know that the tropics are quite active and we could have a storm or two impact them within the next week or two. But there's the front. It's continuing to slide off to the south and to the southeast. Relatively dry over the next 7 days, as I mentioned. Upper 80s for the next 6 to 10, so we will be trending above normal. And then as we look at the precipitation outlook, we're looking at a much drier weather pattern, unfortunately. So rain chances, they're likely to stay well off to the north and to the northwest, and this is being noticed in our drought monitor. So this is this week's edition of the drought monitor, or last week's, my apologies, last week's edition. But look how the abnormally dry conditions have expanded. We've got a bigger area of deep East Texas in the drought monitor, and we also have an area across the Arklatex that has expanded further off to the west in that pre-drought indicator. So we're keeping an eye on this. It lines up with our 30-day rainfall deficits. Cass County and deep East Texas, some of us saw pretty good rain on Tuesday, so we will certainly take that for what it's worth, and we will consider that as a win. I just don't have a lot of rain in your forecast over the next several days. 80s right now. Tonight, we fall to 62, mostly clear. Tomorrow, we are back to 84, plenty of sunshine, remaining mild. And as we look at the next 7 days, I do not have any rain in the forecast, unfortunately. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s with lows in the 60s. As we look at Lufkin, Nacogdoches, and Crockett and other areas of deep East Texas, plenty of sunshine through the weekend with a few passing clouds next week. Highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. Isaac, Casey.